The integrative doctor of my daughter, who happened to be PPAR partner doctor of Simply Nature.
One of the hardest decisions to make for people living with cancer is choosing the kind of treatment that would work best. To help patients and their families deal with this growing health problem, one company commits to producing safe, credible, and natural health solutions by drawing on the latest bioscience technology to deliver a series of safe, efficient, and natural products. What is Simply Nature and what does it do?
Simply Nature is a company we created and founded about 10 years ago. Our mission is to find effective health solutions for people. So we provide natural products that work in combination with conventional therapy and medicine.
As an international company that provides natural solutions for cancer, metabolic syndrome, and degenerative diseases, the management upholds a health philosophy that centers on whole food nutrition as the frontier in health management.
When we talk about choosing treatment, especially in the area of cancer, patients are really afraid of chemotherapy because of its side effects, and they tend to then look towards natural products. But this is not a either conventional or natural choice. At Simply Nature, patients can have the best of both worlds. Our protocols work with conventional chemotherapy to minimize its side effects so that they can get the best treatment using both conventional and natural together.
Cancer is like a virus. It continuously evolves, it mutates, so it can develop defenses against our usual treatment modalities like chemotherapy.
Like I said, chemotherapy and radiation therapy have a lot of side effects. So more often than not, patients stop their treatment because of these side effects. It's very important to have the support.
With the supplements that we give the patients, there will be lesser side effects, so they will be able to finish their chemotherapy protocols more comfortably.
This company introduced PPARs, which is touted as one of the best natural ways of solving serious health problems.
PPARs stands for peroxisome proliferator activating receptors. It's basically a nuclear receptor found inside the cells. Now, when these receptors are activated, the benefit that you can get from that is, number one, cellular differentiation. Number two, it's to promote fatty acid metabolism. If you have better insulin function, your blood sugar will naturally go down. And another one is to induce cancer cell death by modulating the immune system.
As a sole distributor of PPARs, the company promotes its use to many reputable health institutions worldwide and actively organizes corporate health conferences and public health talks in Asia.
Simply Nature PPARs is made out of a special strain of these types of microalgae. It is very effective by protecting the bone marrow. We maintain the integrity of the immune system of the patient, which is very important to prevent infections and to fight off the cancer itself. And also, Simply Nature PPARs is also very dense in nutrients so that the patient can recover faster because of better cellular healing.
Sabi ko parang na-lead kami to an extraordinary and I must say amazing journey. I'm very proud of him. At a young age, na 8 years old, he believed that it's his purpose to siguro encourage other people then. We would like to really pay it forward with the knowledge that there's really like Simply Nature that can help people with cancer very much.
When fighting cancer, living healthy is very important because it allows us to pursue what is important to us in life, and that's what it's all about. When we can help a patient move from being bedridden to getting up, to be lucid in thought so that they can have conversations with their loved ones, it gives the whole process of fighting cancer a whole new meaning. And that is what drives us at Simply Nature.
Hello po, ako nga po pala si Ronaldin Rosales Batalier, 23 years old at ako po ay taga Bicol, Albay. Na-diagnose po ako nung taong 2015, which is ito po yung mixed germ cell tumor sa ovary. Stage 1 po ako nung diagnose ako. Tinanggal po agad yung right ovary ko noon. May nakakita sa akin na taga doon sa amin, sabi niya, what if try ko daw sumali ng contest? Tapos hindi ko nga sinabi na may sakit ako. Sabi ko, sige baka sakaling kahit paano may pandagdag kami sa gastos namin. Then noong 2017 po, yun na po, pabalik-balik yung lagnat ko. Siguro mga 2 weeks hindi ako nawawalan ng lagnat. Tapos yun na, pag-check up ko, kasi lumaki po yung tiyan ko, doon ko po nalaman na yung cancer ko daw, numerous to count na siya. Yung sakit sobra pa, yung nararamdaman ko, likod and sa stomach ko. Ganun po lumaki po yung tiyan ko, hirap na hirap po ako. Nagawa po yung nakalatan na din yung lungs ko. Yung sa liver ko, kaya daw po lumaki yung tiyan ko, gawa ng sa liver po. Hindi na masyado nagpa-function yung mga organ ko sa loob ng tiyan. Yun po, ni-repair na po kami sa child house. And then, nung start na nag-chemo ako, doon na po kami tumira. Nag-stay na po sa child house. Akala ko okay na, wala na mangyayaring operasyon ulit. Pero nagulat po ako kasi every monthly check-up na lang po ako. Umuwi lang po ako sa amin tapos nagsusuka na naman ako. Akala ko kung ano na naman po yun. Yung dumi, nailalabas ko sa bibig na. Sabi ko, ano na naman to pa? Kaya na naman tayo, sisimula na naman tayo. May nakita daw po ulit na bukol sa diaphragm. Iyak na naman po ako. Sabi ko, hindi pa nga magaling yung sa ibang organ ko. Tapos ito na naman. Po as of now, wala na po akong treatment and may tumor pa po ako sa diaphragm. And lately, may nakita na naman daw po sa akin ng gallstone sa may gallbladder ko. Napansin ko po talaga, start po uminom ako nung Nature, which is yung powder and tablet po na Pipars. Para pong, pag nainom ko na po siya before ako matulog, pag nakakainom po ako, parang nare-relieve, parang nare-relax po yung katawan ko. Siguro mga 2 days after na take ko po yung gamot, parang napansin ko na parang everyday na ako nagbabawas. Kasi po talaga dati, siguro sa isang linggo, 3 beses na po ako nagbabawas. And nakita ko po talaga yung good feedback agad ng gamot na ininom ko. Kasi yun nga po, parang pag nainom ko po siya, parang yung sa loob ko na may something ako naririnig na tumutunog. And after yun po, nagbabawas na po ako. And parang ang gaan po sa pakiramdam. And parang medyo po nabawasan yung bloated ko sa tiyan. Start po nung uminom po ako. About po dito sa Pipars powder po, tinitake ko po siya every after meal. And based sa protocol po na ibigay po sa akin ni Doc Jansen, pag morning, which is 5 scoop, nilalagay po sa ilalim ng dila, antayin mo po yun matunaw. Pag gabi naman po, tinitake ko siya after dinner, which is 4 scoop naman po siya. Kasi sa protocol po is kailangan everyday makatake ako ng 9 scoop. So, kapag po, based po sa observation ko, kapag po naiinom ko po itong Pipars powder, parang yung something na tumutunog po talaga sa tiyan ko na parang may something, parang kini-cleanse na yung sa loob ng tiyan ko. And after po nun, magbabawas na ako. So parang after ko pong magbawas nun, parang feeling ko sobrang gaan ng pakaramdam ko sa tiyan ko. Tungkol naman po sa Pipars Plus tablets naman po, based sa protocol po na ibinigay po sa akin ni Doc Jansen, ano po siya, kailangan everyday makatake po ako ng 30 tablets. So sa protocol po na sinusunod ko, iinumin ko po siya with empty yung stomach ko. Pag morning, pagkagising ko, ito po talaga agad yung iniinom ko. 15 tablets sa morning, and after naman po, same, kailangan empty din yung stomach mo. 15 sa morning ng pagkagising ko, and 15 sa evening after dinner ko before ako mag-sleep. Kasi yun nga po, mas pinipili ko siya after dinner na lang po siya inumin para po agad. Pag nainom ko po siya, yun nga po, nare-relieve yung katawan ko, parang mabilis po ako nakakatulog, and naiiwasan ko po yung insomnia na lagi ko pong nararanasan noon po, lalong-lalo na po nung after po ako mag-chemo. So yun. Daily routine ko, yun, gumigising ako ng umaga for exercise kasi yun din yung advice sa akin ng doctor ko. Kailangan may regular exercise ako and pagkain ng mga masustansya pagkain. And yun nga po, nabanggit ko last time na mahilig talaga ako magluto. Yun po talaga, kapag kumakain po kami sa office, talagang ako po yung luluto po para sa pagkain po namin ng ibang mga kasamahan ko pasyente. As of now, thankful po ako kasi isa po ako sa nakatanggap ng scholarship sa isang magandang universidad dito sa Manila. Isa po sa nag-udyok sa akin para kumuha ako ng kursong education is yung mga bata po na kasamahan ko dito. So, nakita ko po yung hirap ng papa ko. So, sinasabi ko sa sarili ko na hindi ako kailangan panghinaan ng loob. Kasi yung papa ko, nilalaban niya ako eh. Pero ako that time po kasi kapag naiisip ko yung taning ko, parang ang sakit po. Like, nakikita ko yung papa ko na lumalaban. Pero yung katawan ko, pakiramdam ko po kasi sumusuko na kahit yung utak ko, yung puso ko gusto ko lumaban. Hindi matutumbasan ng pasasalamat yung nagawa sa akin ng papa ko kasi talaga sobrang bait ng papa ko. And nung November po is nag-CT scan po ako. Doon ko po nalaman na may nakita daw po na bagong tumor po sa akin. So that time syempre naisip ko na okay na ako tapos may nakita na naman po ulit na bago. So I am so thankful po kasi nung December po is nakilala ko po kayo, nakilala ko po sila Mr. Shyan, sila Doc Jansen po at ang Simply Nature staff po na alam ko pong nakatulong po talaga sa akin. And yun nga po, nung nakita po na parang bad yung result ng CT scan ko, and after po ng December, bali po after December po and until June, July, bali nakatatlong CT scan po ako. At nakita ko po talaga yung improvement po ng result ng CT scan and ultrasound ko po. And I'm so happy po na nitong latest na CT scan ko nung July, tuwang-tuwa po si Doc Jansen kasi talagang nakita po niya na lumiit po talaga yung tumor ko. And masayang-masaya po ako doon. Siguro kung wala yung Simply Nature, siguro yung tumor na nakita po sa akin, I think siguro po mas lalala po siya. Kasi yun nga po ang sabi nila, kapag na-stress yung pasyente, mas lalo po yung nagtitrigger yung cancer po. Kaya yun nga po, maraming salamat po talaga sa Simple Nature kasi kung hindi po dahil sa inyo, siguro hanggang ngayon stop pa rin po ako sa pag-aaral. Ngayon po, gusto ko lamang po pala ipaabot ang aking pasasalamat kila Doc Jansen and Mr. Shyan. Maraming salamat po talaga kasi alam ko po talaga nakatulong po siya sa akin at alam ko pong mas lumakas po ako. And sabi nga po ni Doc Jansen na kahit slowly siya, sure naman po talaga na gagaling po ako. Kaya maraming salamat po sa walang sawang pag-support po sa akin.
Welcome to another episode of Simply Nature webinar. This program is powered by Simply Nature International and Simply Healed Medical Group. After the love-filled celebration of Valentine's Day, it's time to shift our focus back to nurturing our health and well-being. Welcome everyone to our post-Valentine's Day health webinar. Today, we're here to remind ourselves of the importance of self-care and maintaining a balanced lifestyle. So, let's use this momentum from Valentine's Day to embark on this journey of caring for our hearts by prioritizing our cardiovascular health. We are not only ensuring a longer and more vibrant life for ourselves, but also setting an example of self-love for those around us. Get ready to learn, engage, and commit to a healthier heart starting today. We appreciate each and every one of you for watching and registering to this event. And of course, for sharing this online event with your friends and loved ones who suffer from any type of cardiovascular diseases. So let's not keep you waiting. Please know that we will be having what we call AMA portion after the discussion. So yes, questions po are very much welcome, even in Tagalog. Okay, just drop them down on the comment section. Okay, at this point, to start off our discussion, I'd like to call on a successful entrepreneur who is also a seasoned international speaker on a wide range of topics from personal success to healthcare, the CEO and founding director of Simply Nature International, fresh from Singapore. All right, let's all welcome Mr. Shyan Lim. Good evening, Sir Shyan.
Good evening, Sheila, and big good evening to everyone. It's so good to be back here. I'm now back in BGC in Philippines. Just touched down yesterday from Singapore. So yesterday was Valentine's Day, and it's also still Chinese New Year. So during Sheila, the last 1 week I put on 4 pounds. All right.
Oh,
So yeah, this is our version of the Christmas, New Year putting on weight. So, tonight's topic is about heart disease. So how do you keep a healthy heart, and what are some solutions you can have to anyone who has actually chronic heart issues? So I think it's a perfect time because yesterday was Heart Day, right? Valentine's Day. So today the topic is very relevant. And of course, we will have Dr. Jansen Kalalan joining us for our AMA as per usual. So I look forward to answering any questions all our audience may have. So this discussion is only 10 minutes long, I believe, the video on heart. So quickly invite your friends or family members who have questions for myself or for Dr. Jansen. So I'll see you all back here in about 10 minutes. So I'll let Sheila introduce the discussion video to everyone today.
Thank you, Sir Shyan. All right, at this point, let's look back at the discussion shared by a very special person close to our hearts as she shares with us her journey in overcoming a heart health condition despite of her old age. Ladies and gentlemen, a pioneer in integrative medicine and one of the first medical integrative doctors here in the Philippines, Dr. Angie Dumondon. Let's all watch this.
Doc, Angie, thank you very much for allowing us to share these few hours with you. How long have you been using PPARs, and what has it done for you personally in terms of hypertension and heart condition?
I've been sick for 6 years. No? So I guess 10 years now. I had a good response among my patients, especially my cancer patients. That was my success with PPARs. I had a very successful practice.
Pero Doc, in what you call this, personally, you've gone through some challenges also, journey for hypertension and also your heart condition.
I got into this illness because my heart was poisoned. That's when I could not breathe anymore. My lungs was filled with water, and my heart was not beating anymore. Normally, it was beating 160 per minute. How is that? That is already what we call fibrillation. The heart is just beating like this. It's not like that. No, it's just like trembling already. So I was brought to the emergency room dito. I was now revived in the emergency room. I consumed a lot of PPARs. I would give also, a big hand for PPARs, helping me to be back to health. Because before, I could not walk. I was evaluated. I had only 15% of my heart functioning. 15. But look now, I can speak, I can walk from my room to here. So God is so good to me and to PPARs.
Thank you.
Yeah, I consumed a lot of liquid PPARs. A lot of liquid PPARs. And, I asked my doctor, okay, I said, Doc, do you have plenty of patients who have recovered like me? Age group like you're already 86? Nobody's already. They are all dead. He tells me, I am the first one in my age group that has survived.
Hello mga ka-Simple Nature! Please follow our social media accounts, our Facebook page, Simple Nature International, our IG account, Simple Nature Inc., and of course, our YouTube channel, Simply Nature. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for more updates.
advice can you give all of them or all people who are fast approaching the 60s, 70s, and 80s?
Actually, I'm going to tell you. Even in the younger group, right now I'm sharing what you're giving me with a little boy. He's only, how old is he? 5? And he loves people. I only give him 3 tablets a day.
Oh.
3 tablets a day. And he loves. Oh, he loves to chew it. He loves it para siyang heaven. When he chews that, when he is chewing, when he puts it in, parang heaven. Ang heaven na sa kanya, chewing the papers. That's why I like to see. That's why I like to share with him. 3 tablets only. He is most patient, bright.
So, for people naman who are beyond 5 years old, let's say going to 50s, 60s, 70s, anong advice
I
mas
would like
kanila?
them, I mean to say, this should, I would say there is no age group, but everyone should take the virus. Everyone. Because, number 1, it builds your immune system. Number 2, it also helps your what's this? DNA. Okay? So, and then it also fights infection. So there are many things that PEPARS can do for you. Even if you are just a normal child without any abnormalities, I believe that children should be started from the age group of children. Kahit na nga 3 tablets only. A day. Up to my age. I consume 10. I consume 10 now. But when I was very, very sick,
Liquid. Liquid.
because I was taking already the liquid.
Oh.
And when you take the liquid, that is already the super. When you're taking liquid super, all my stage 4 cancer get well. Basta they take the liquid. You will find that PEPARS will be, if they can only take it religiously as prescribed, it can really help them, get away from cancer, get away from crippling diseases, diseases that makes you cripple out of you. It will really help you get out of that. And plus, of course, above all things, your connection with God and your diet.
What type of cancer did you have?
Breast,
Breast
stage
cancer.
4.
Oh. So it was
And I was told I will have only 1 year to live. 1 year to live.
Wow.
1 year to live. That was 1987.
Wow.
By 1988, I should have been dead. No amount of bargaining. If you want to get well, decide. You want to get well, decide. And but above all things, because PEPARS is vegetable.
Yes.
It greatly helps. Because PEPARS is a well-studied product. Very well-studied product. And it even repairs your DNA.
So PEPARS is good for the heart? Good.
Anything, even if you are healthy or you are sick, any kind of illness, I prescribe PEPARS. Because it assists in building you up. So what else can you ask? It assists you in building your health. So take PEPARS.
Doctora, thank you very much. We enjoyed chatting with you and so inspiring. Thank you very much po.
You're welcome. I'm Dr. Angie Dumundon. I'm 86 years old. I am suffering from congestive heart failure secondary to atrial fibrillation. Thanks to Simply Nature. All kinds of products from Simply Nature from liquid to capsule to tablets. You know, I got them all, and I was greatly helped towards my recovery. And so I'm happy I can face you now, whereas before I could not even talk. 5 minutes. Now I can talk, talk, talk. I trust Simply Nature.
There's a miracle in this Simply Nature.
Marami po akong natutunan dito sa seminar na ito.
I would recommend it to people who have illnesses, even cancer.
We are always with you from start to healing.
Hi, this is Shyan, and I'm here to update you with a quick teaser. October 14th of 2023, we had our very first post-pandemic face-to-face conference on cancer, and it was a smash hit. The participants loved the ability to ask our panelists of myself, Dr. Jansen, our expert in lifestyle medicine, and Dr. Jimmy Katapia, who's our oncological surgeon. They were able to get all the answers they wanted about cancer and whether or not to go for surgery. So we are planning in 2024 another session by popular demand, because everyone wanted us to have another one so that they can bring their friends. So a quick teaser, we're gonna have back Dr. Jansen, Dr. Jimmy Katapia, so all of you with questions on chemotherapy, on surgery, the doctors and the panelists are there to answer your question. And we have an upcoming special guest. We are hoping to get someone who is going to be an expert on diagnosis, something as very interesting like liquid biopsy, all right? So that's something new and on the cutting edge of cancer diagnostics. So those of you who could not make it for our face-to-face, well, this time round in 2024 on March 16th, we're gonna do ours with a Zoom option. So those of you who are in the province who can't join us here in Metro Manila, look out for the details so that you can join us on the Zoomcast.
Survivors and advocates, let us all come together to explore the latest advancement in cancer treatment and engage with the multidisciplinary experts dedicated to enhancing your well-being. This is happening this coming March 16 at SMX SM Aura here in BGC. And this is only for limited slots. So don't miss out on this very awesome opportunity to be part of this transformative experience. Reserve your seat as early as now, bring your friends, and let's embark on a journey on a healthier and happier you. The tickets are only 150, and this can be a ticket for face-to-face setup and also via Zoom webinar. So we actually heard your request, and you can actually buy your tickets now using your GCash. Just scan the QR code, all right, that is shown on your screen and of course, send us the receipt via Facebook Messenger. So we will be able to reserve your seats manually. Okay. Now, at this point, we are now in what we call AMA portion. So I'd like to call on once again the experts who will lead the AMA portion tonight and answer all our questions. To start off, our first expert, he is a graduate of St. Luke's Medical Center College of Medicine, and he is a diplomate of an International Board of Lifestyle Medicine and the Philippine College of Lifestyle Medicine. He is also an integrative medicine doctor, a medical director of Simply Healed Medical Group, and a consultant at Alta Integrative Medicine and Wellness Complex at Perpetual Health Medical Center, Las Piñas, where he manages patients with cancer and metabolic illness. And of course, once again, all right, our successful entrepreneur, he is also a seasoned international speaker from a wide range of topics from personal success to healthcare, the CEO and founding director of Simply Nature International, Mr. Shyan Lim. Good evening, Sir Shyan, and good evening, Dr. Jansen.
Good evening, Sheila. Good evening, Doc. So good to be
Hi,
back
Sheila.
here.
Hello, hello. Good evening to you.
Happy Valentine's to you both.
Yeah.
To you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know to everyone, tonight's video was actually on Dr. Angie Domondo. She is my adopted Lola for the Philippines. And what's amazing was that during her later years, like what she said in the video, only 15% of her heart was working. Yeah, she was always checking her heart at the Seven Adventist hospital here in Metro Manila. So what was surprising was when she shared that after taking PPARs, because I actually snuck, I think now I can say it because it's over. I actually snuck a liquid PPAR into her room when she was going through her ICU, when she was warded for an emergency case. So, but anyway, what was great is that towards the end of her time with us here, I mean, Lola has actually returned to the Lord last year, right? Have a full life, amazing story. One day I'll get to share it. But you know, her heart function was actually, if I'm not wrong, I'm not sure if she said it in the video, but it actually increased back to like 60% or something like that, or maybe slightly higher. So from 15% functioning back up. So she did that through lifestyle modification and also with our PPAR tablets. She was on tablets most of the time. Unless she had some issues, then it will be soft gels and liquid extracts. So again, there's an encouragement to anyone who wants to have good heart health. PPAR tablets is really a great all-round foundational supplement. So without further ado, let's answer our questions tonight. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for our first question tonight, coming from Miss Amelia Francia, is omega-3 fish oil beneficial to our health?
Oh, that's a good one, Doc.
Only to some degree. Only to a certain degree. Well,
Doc, it's very like widely publicized, right? And I think normally people will go into a health store looking for omega-3 supplements, and usually it will be fish oil or
Right,
cod
right.
oil. Yes. So can you share with us your views on this a bit more?
Well, the fish oils, of course, fish oils out there, the problem there is the heavy metals. Because they would have to process lots and lots of fish to create that one capsule. Okay. And that's the danger. Of course, the regulations behind supplements are not as stringent as the medications. No, it's different. Okay. However, for that matter, let's assume that the fish oil product that you purchase is very good in quality. Okay, say for example, it's pharmaceutical in grade, no? Fish oil, the benefit that you get from that is coming from the omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, they're mainly unsaturated fats, and unsaturated fats have a lot of benefits. Anti-inflammatory. They can even make sure that your immune system is strong. So these things, no? And we were taught in med school that if your triglyceride levels are high, you can take in fish oil. Okay? I see patients who respond, but there are also a lot that instead of the triglycerides going down, it goes up. Okay? You know why? It's because, well, fish oil is oil. It's fat, basically. And what's triglyceride? It's basically fat as well. Okay, so if you add in more fat into your system, then expect that your triglycerides can go up, also your cholesterol. Okay, so I'm not that too much of a fan of fish oil. I would rather you eat fish or source it from other products like algae or seeds or nuts.
I see. All right.
So to everyone, I think this is an interesting point, you know. So, Doc, you know, many times when we buy supplements, we also buy generic brand. We want to save money. So I think the problem with a generic brand is, I guess, we don't know much about the company. Usually it's like a house brand, diba? You go to I don't know, maybe you go to in Singapore, we have this supermarket chain called NTUC. It's the National Trade Union. It's like a discount. And then after that, they have their own house brands. Then there'll be NTUC cashew nuts, NTUC flour, NTUC noodles, and things like that. And they also go into supplements. So basically, there are generic brands, and Dr. Jansen mentioned for fish, right? We are worried about heavy metals. The problem with generic brands is sometimes we don't know whether they are produced to the same level of quality. All right. So I guess it does say that it does mean that when you buy supplements, maybe buy don't go for the cheapest thing, because that might do your body harm. You're spending money to strengthen yourself and end up do your body some harm. So I do think that when it comes to supplement, even for myself, I try to buy reliable brands, brands that have stood the test of time, and brands that have a certain reputation to uphold, right? So that's just something to throw out there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Sir Shyan. Okay, the next question is also interesting, coming from Miss Chuchi Obise. Is there a cure for MVP? Will it recur anytime of any age?
Okay, MVP is mitral valve prolapse. The solution for mitral valve prolapse is surgery, nothing else. Okay, because the integrity of the valve itself is compromised. Okay, so if the problem is anatomic, then the solution should be anatomic as well. So that would be surgery. Typically, we replace the valve. Okay, that's open heart surgery, to be honest. Okay, so there you go. All right.
This operation, Doc, is this something that has to be replaced after a certain period of time, or it's forever after you did the surgery?
After you do the surgery, the valve is usually good for life already, unless it gets worn down. So you have to go for regular checkups as well to check if the integrity of the valve is still intact. But more often than not, the valve that they use can be used for life.
Okay, that's good to hear. All right, thank you, Doc. Right, another question coming from, okay, Miss Avikin Santos. Any supplements good for the heart that you can recommend?
Algae. Yeah, Simply Major Prepars is one of the supplements that I use for people who have high blood cholesterol level, hypertension. Some of them if they have diabetes as well, no? Because microalgae can reduce cholesterol levels. I mean, there are a lot of clinical studies about that already. Okay, so yeah, if you can choose one, then go for microalgae.
Yes, and with what happened with Doc Angie, you can see it's very effective. Thank you, Doc. Okay, another question coming from Mr. Jason Sumampong. Is taking losartan daily a permanent thing?
No, not if you can reverse your hypertension.
Yeah.
If you cannot, then you have to be on losartan as long as you still have hypertension. Okay. So how do you reverse hypertension? Make sure that you're consuming plenty of high potassium foods. No, high potassium foods include all plant foods, basically. Okay, so green leafy vegetables, your root crops, your fruits, your beans, no, your legumes, basically, and your whole grains. Okay, so consume plenty of those foods. Then make sure you reduce your consumption of processed foods or high salt foods, no? So you'll be on your way to reversing hypertension. And make sure, of course, no, to exercise and to sleep well as well. Okay, those two are very important.
So mine is a personal testimony. Dr. Jansen knows. I was having hypertension about my average was about 150 for about a year. And I've been taking PPAR tablets. So, yeah. So like to everyone, I just want to be honest so that we can all learn about our body's health. So I've been taking PPAR tablets as well. So it was something very unusual for me. Why would I have hypertension? So number one, I went for a full body checkup. So my triglyceride levels were, the result came out optimal. So it was actually very, very good. Cancer markers, all that were very, very healthy. Blood sugar was fine. However, I had very high LDL. And that turned out that I was eating a lot of butter. Okay, every day I can take like 1/3 stick of a butter every day. So, it just says that no matter how good your supplements are, you can't out-supplement your daily diet. So if your daily diet is terrible, even if you're taking the best supplements, I believe that PPAR tablets kept my hypertension within the normal range for many years. But many years of taking one third stick of butter every day, sooner or later, even my supplements couldn't do anything anymore. Right. So I think that's one thing for everybody. But I've managed to bring it down to now about 130 from 150. So how I did that was actually to watch my diet, continue my PPAR tablets, but on top of that now I watch my diet. I have removed eating meat to maybe only 10 to 20% of my diet daily now. So I've cut down a lot on fatty meats. I don't eat butter anymore. It's amazing. And I exercise a lot. My exercise is what Doc Johnson has always advised everyone. It's not like the high intensity exercise. You know, I walk at a very brisk speed for about an hour a day. All right, and that actually has helped me lose about 10 pounds in the last 1 month plus, and my hypertension has also come down. So that's what Dr. Jansen said, right? If you take those changes, you can get off your hypertensive drugs.
Sir, thank you for sharing that one, because I just couldn't imagine that it could be something very dangerous, that you don't feel anything, but the hypertension is already present, right? So it also magnifies the importance of us always doing a regular checkup with the doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, just before we go to our next question, I just want, of course, to greet our regular viewers, starting off with Felicissima Siman, Helen Basilio Kamunayan from Baguio, and of course, our dear Miss Janet Koo of Child House Quezon City. And of course, our new viewers, Stitch, Kobe, Donna Malazo, Jonathan Francisco, and Afiza Farhana. Thank you so much for joining our webinar tonight. Okay, so for our next question, another interesting question, Doc and Sir. Why am I, coming from Miss Glenda Barcelon, why am I snoring even if I am not in my deep sleep yet?
Oh, yeah.
You might have obstructive sleep apnea. Okay, please go see your sleep specialist and undergo a sleep study. Okay, because obstructive sleep apnea, right? It's dangerous. It can lead to hypertension. It can lead to weight gain. Okay, so if you do snore heavily, even if you're not into deep sleep yet, I don't know how you're not in deep sleep, but go see a sleep specialist to be sure. Okay.
I think this one is very important. My brother is rather large in size. I think he would definitely come under the obese category. Okay, and he snores very loudly, like a train is going through the room. Okay, and he has sleep apnea, right? So it was so dangerous that they wanted to suggest like some surgical intervention, because he could have lack of oxygen when he's sleeping, and it can actually be life-threatening. So don't ignore this one; it's important. All right, but Doc, are sleep specialists easy to find in Philippines? I mean, if you're in the province, is it even easy to find, and is it expensive? I mean, I'm just curious to ask that.
Sleep specialists, there are a lot of sleep specialists here in the Philippines, but they're mainly concentrated around the metro areas. So you have Metro Manila, of course, you have Metro Cebu and Metro Davao. I believe there are sleep specialists that you can find in Davao. Okay, but Cebu definitely there are. Okay, and of course Metro Manila. You won't. Metro Manila has everything. Okay. In terms of the consultation fee, you might spend a little bit more because they would have to interview you for a longer period of time. Of course, they would have to do some assessments and getting your sleep assessed. Of course, warrants an overnight stay, okay, inside their facility. So expect to shell out a little bit more cash with this, no? But this is quite important because sleep, we spend a third of our life sleeping. Okay, so it's very important that you fix this, because if you don't invest with this, then expect that your health would degrade sooner than later. Okay, sooner or later, rather. Okay, so make sure that to get your sleep fixed right away. Okay?
Yeah, so this is actually important. I have actually another friend who went through bariatric operation. He was also obese, and his sleep apnea was so serious, it was life-threatening. So life-threatening that he had to go and remove like they had to cut his stomach and make it smaller. So that because he couldn't lose weight any other way, he couldn't stop himself, and it was just so hard. So they literally surgically shrank his stomach so that he can't even eat a lot, right? And he lost like, I don't know, 40 to 60 pounds, all right? But now everything is okay now. And he looks good. He looks like 20 years younger also, you know, when you lose weight. So it's very important, everybody. This sleep apnea thing, it can kill you. So don't just ignore it. Yeah, correct. Do something about it.
Thank you, sir. I just want to quickly share, because I've read in one of the articles that one of the ways for you to live healthy is to buy a very good bed, because it accumulates more than 20% of your whole life. So 20 years actually of your whole life. So it's best if you buy the best bed that you could have. So,
and I don't know, Doc. I don't know whether you. Okay, first of all, I'm seeing questions right now that relates to cancer. So we're gonna touch upon it. So please stay with us, right? I think it's Mr. Johnson Chong and Alan. All right, we're gonna touch upon it. But this thing that Sheila brought up is very interesting, Doc. I mean, personally, are you very aware of like what type of beds are good for sleeping? I assume in Philippines people probably like soft beds. But I personally actually prefer harder beds. So, any advice on this on your side?
I actually don't know. I'm also as clueless as you. But for me, personally, if the bed is comfortable enough for you to lie down on, then that would be the better one. Okay. So yeah, that's just me. But me personally, I prefer to sleep on a relatively softer bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because yeah, I just find it, more relaxing to my back
I think this
compared to a
also
very hard one.
I think this also changes with age, right? So I met up with some doctors, and when I shared with them that I have neck ache, so he actually told me then your pillow is too large. So but I'm using the same pillow. I think most of us, we might still have pillows from our teenage years. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, really, people sleeping on the same pillow is like what's that, comfort blanket, right? It's something that we move with us from dorm to house to when we get married. You bring your pillow with you. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I know. So I noticed that when I hit the age 40 and above, I now sleep on the type of pillow that you find on the couch, that you put on your couch. You know, those throw pillows? Because it's a lot thinner, 1/3 the thickness of a normal pillow that you have on the bed. And when I did that, my neck aches disappeared. So I think the explanation is that as you age, the curvature of your neck and your spine does change. And having a thinner pillow could alleviate a wrong sleeping posture. So just for anyone out there who has like chronic neck pains and you don't know, you've tried everything, try a thinner pillow, right? That might be, especially if you've been aging like me, right? I'm 50 this year. Yay, year of Jubilee. Changing of the front number. All right. Okay. I think let's go and answer Doc. First is Alan. Alan's question is, you take 1 tablet and 3 plastic spoons of pipa powder a day. Is this the recommended dosage? Okay, we have to know your medical condition to let you know whether this is a recommended dosage. But I will let you know, this is a good dosage. This is a strong dosage for therapeutic effect. So if you are suffering from some cancer or other serious ailments, this is a very good dosage, right? It should give you good results. Now, don't worry about is the dosage too strong. You can't actually have a too strong higher dosage for our PIPA protocols. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I can easily take 50 tablets a day constantly, right? I take constantly about 30 to 50 because I don't count, right? A day. So you can see I've been doing that for years. No effect. And we actually did this test called an LD50 test, which is a lethal dosage 50 times test. So there's no long-term toxicity even if you take higher dosages, right? So the only thing is financially it might be a bit more tough if you're taking more scoops of the extract. But don't worry, in terms of health-wise, it will actually do you good, okay? So that's for Alan. So your dosage is probably correct. If you want us to give you a more advice, let us know why you're taking that that dosage. And maybe you can even arrange for a consult with Dr. Jansen so that you can get a clearer advice and also look at other protocols that might help your condition. Okay, Doc, this one from from Johnson Chong, maybe Sheila, you can read it. I think Doc can answer that.
All right, sir. All right, coming from Johnson Chong, if I'm undergoing chemotherapy, what is the best diet for me? Is the product you're selling still effective even if I'm on chemotherapy?
Yeah, very good question. So for cancer patients, no, I would assume that you're a cancer patient. For all cancer patients, the best diet should be a plant-based diet. Okay. Why? It's because animal protein can make tumors grow. So that's the main reason why you have to avoid animal protein and go on a plant-based diet. If you can go on a low sugar plant-based diet, then that would be better as well. Okay. High fiber, low fat. All right. Now, would PPARs be effective though, even if you are on chemotherapy? Yes, because PPARs has very strong antioxidant properties. And the way chemotherapy destroys cancer cells is by way of free radicals. Okay, that's also why you feel fatigue after chemotherapy. Okay, so for that matter, in order for your body to quickly recover from the chemotherapy that you just received, it would be good for you to try PPARs, see how you feel after taking it, no? Especially after chemotherapy. I assure you, you would feel wonderful. Yeah, because I have a lot of patients who are undergoing chemotherapy, no? Who take PPARs and they suddenly feel better. Okay? But of course, just my rule of thumb. But this is my preference. I don't know with the other simply nature doctors, but I don't usually give PPARs together with chemotherapy. Well, it depends though what kind of chemotherapy medication that they gave you. So I would have to know if it can be combined or not. Okay, but that's just my personal preference, just to make sure that we don't have any interactions or you get the most out of your PPARs. Okay, but again, that's my personal preference. I don't know with the other simply nature doctors, they might be, you know, simultaneously using them together. Okay.
So just to clarify, Doc, when you say you don't use the PPAR protocols with chemotherapy, you're talking about on the same day, right?
Yes, on the same day. So what I do usually is I ask the patient when would the oncos give the chemotherapy. And then, if, for example, if the onco is giving the chemotherapy once every 21 days, then I start PPARs on the 8th day after chemo, then continue it up until the 20th day, just a day before the scheduled chemo. So that's how I do it. Okay, but there are chemotherapeutic medications when you can take them together, like capecitabine. Capecitabine and PPARs work in synergy.
So to the person who asked this, is it Alan? No.
It's Johnson Chong.
Johnson, yeah. Okay, so number one, our product, our PPAR protocol, we actually tested it with chemotherapy drugs. I don't think you'll find any other natural supplements that where they actually test it with chemotherapy drugs. So one very important thing that you will like to know is that after we tested it, we found that the protocol, our extracts, protected your bone marrow cells from the cytotoxicity or the toxic effect or the negative side effects from chemotherapy. So this means that it protects your bone marrow, the place where your blood cells are created or matured, and that directly impacts your immune system. So also you will notice when you're on chemotherapy, your onco will always monitor your red blood cell count and your white blood cell count. So when your red blood cell count drops, then your onco will stop the chemotherapy session. So that's one of the things that they look out for. So by taking our PPAR protocols during your chemotherapy, together with your chemotherapy. So what I mean by together is not on the same day, all right? So you take it until the day before so that your body is as strong as protected, you know? And then on the day itself, just let the chemotherapy, take the chemotherapy drug alone so that you just let the chemotherapy do its work, all right? Then the next day, especially if you feel terrible, right? Even though you're strengthened. So imagine if you didn't strengthen your body, it might be worse. But if you don't feel so good after your chemotherapy, then the very next day you can take the liquid extract to quickly help you recover. All right. Anyway, the chemotherapy, the attack that it does on your cancer tumor, the major effect is already done on the day itself when you apply the chemotherapy. Now, so for those of you who take oral chemotherapy drugs, yeah, there's no contraindication, and many of the cases it actually is synergistic. Now, if you want to be very, very clear on whether your chemotherapy drug is the one that you should take together with PPARs, why don't you go for a consult with Dr. Jansen? And anyway, you asked about what foods you should be taking. So I think Dr. Jansen giving you a consult on that will be really, really great, right? Now, with all cancer cases, all right, you can never do too much when it comes to fighting cancer. You can do your surgery and then your chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and at the same time, you've got to protect your healthy organs with PPAR protocols and strengthen your immune system. You've got to manage your comorbidities from high blood cholesterol to diabetes at the same time. Got to take care of your liver and kidney, especially through chemotherapy, because that really affects many aspects of your health. So it's not just one thing that you do when you're fighting cancer, but a wide range. So go for a consult with Dr. Jansen if you're not aware of what other things you can do when you fight cancer. And also remember, Mr. Johnson, that the way you fight cancer will also determine your relapse rate, right? Whether the cancer comes back. So if you fight cancer in a very complete, holistic, more than one approach way, the chances of your cancer coming back a second time is going to be lowered. All right. So this is also very important. Nowadays, we are quite confident that if you discovered it early, you will probably be victorious in your first bout of cancer. The challenge now is most people, the cancer comes back. Like for endometrial cancer, I think Dr. Johnson has touched upon it. It's like 30-40%. Even with a full hysterectomy, it can still come back. So, so it's something that is, we've got to do more so that there's no relapse in your cancer.
Thank you, sir. For those of you who wish to have a consult with Dr. Jansen Kalalan, the link for you to schedule an appointment is in the description box and also on the comment section. I've seen how he does his consults. He's very meticulous, so go for a consult now. Okay. All right. For another question, going back to our topic, heart health, coming from Mr. Bien Almendros. Okay. Good evening from Bicol. Magnesium supplement could help our heart?
Depends on what your heart issue is. Okay? Depends on what your heart issue is. So, magnesium's effect on our body is to relax the muscles. Okay? So, if you have hypertension because your blood vessels are spastic, no, or they're constricted for whatever reason, if your doctor assesses them to be so, then magnesium can help. Okay. If you are someone who is stressed, has I shouldn't say difficulty relaxing, but doesn't have that much time to relax, then I think magnesium can help as well, because magnesium has a relaxing effect on the body. Okay, so if you have hypertension because you are, up and about, how should I say this? Unrelaxed. Is there such a word? Okay, but you get what I mean, no? Yeah, you get what I mean. So magnesium supplements might help for that matter. There are also people who uses magnesium supplements to help them fall asleep, okay? Because it has a relaxing effect. But magnesium, I use that for building bones, not for the relaxation effect. Okay. So if you're asking, would it be helpful for your heart? If you are someone who is really stressed, then it might help. It might. Okay, it's not 100%, but it might. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Okay, another question, interesting one coming from Miss May Aiden Dupingay. Sorry. Good evening, Doc. Is generic hypertensive medicine has a different effect from branded medicines? Oh, generic from branded.
Uh, Not really. Their are the same. The effects is the same, no? You know how I know?
How?
I attended a I attended a workshop, no, Indian. So the hosts are Indian. So I think you know already where I'm going with this. So a lot of the medications that we take, no, especially globally, are manufactured in India. Okay, so the
Yes.
manufacturers there, basically the manufacturers have a lot of clients. Okay, so these clients are pharmaceutical companies. So these clients develop the medications, the drugs, then give the template to the manufacturer so that the manufacturer will create the medication or the drug according to the template or according to the design of their client. Okay, this is very similar to Apple. Okay, Apple does not own factories; they own the design. Then they have Foxconn. I think it's Foxconn, no, who does the manufacturing. Very similar to how the pharmaceutical world functions. So these Indian companies, they basically have they make the generic drugs. So I think it would be also good for everyone to know, no, na the patent of pharmaceuticals is only good for 50 years. 50 years. Beyond 50 years, anybody can make it already. The patent cannot be renewed. Okay? So I think everybody would be familiar with paracetamol. Paracetamol has a lot of brands nowadays. Anybody can make paracetamol because it has been here for more than 50 years already. Okay? So this is similar to other medications. Now, going back to the topic, no. So if you find generic medications out there, they're basically manufactured by the same manufacturers that the branded ones, no. By branded, I mean the more expensive one. Okay, so they just you have a pill, they change the name. Okay, so but it's practically the same medication. It's just a different brand. So generic medications would work as well as those branded medications. Okay? The discrepancy would be if the generic medication was adulterated, which can happen to any brand out
Yes.
there in the market. It can happen. Even
Mm.
the more reputable one. Okay? So,
Really?
there you have
Okay.
it, no? Yeah. Mhm.
Um,
Okay. Go ahead,
yeah,
sir.
because I just want to share, it's the same in Singapore as well. In Singapore as well, that so Singapore is very different from Philippines. The doctors can sell drugs. So there isn't a conflict of interest. In Philippines, doctors are not allowed to sell drugs. It's considered as a conflict of interest. So you have to go to the pharmacy to buy drugs, right? Then you get to choose what brand you want, right? But in Singapore, you actually see the doctor, and on your way out in his clinic, he will sell you the drugs. So it is so for most of the drugs that the patent has worn out, right? They would actually it's the same. However, as Dr. Jansen says, some drugs are adulterated. So my sister has some feedback for antibiotics. Some antibiotics, because the generic one is half the price of the ones that are branded. But for my mom, the results are slightly different. So you have to check from drug to drug. So but in many hospitals in Singapore, especially those clinics for what we call polyclinics, that means clinics at the neighborhood areas, they use generic drugs. So like what Dr. Johnson says, they are all FDA approved. They are all effective. But I think in Philippines, I'm not sure, because sometimes in Philippines, I'm sorry to say that, but you could, yeah. So my advice is, on top of what Dr. Johnson said, is go ahead, use a generic drug. But if you do notice the effect is not really good, it might be that particular brand of generic drug that you're using. Because even in generic drugs, there are many, many, many brands of generic drugs, right? So this one is something that as you use your medicine, you should know the efficacy. If it's not effective, then try another brand, right? Try another generic brand, and monitor that yourself. So, but I think to the key point of your question is, are generic brand drugs as good as the branded one? The answer is yeah, they are effectively the same. However, generic brands include hundreds of different types of manufacturers and branded. There are some good manufacturers and there are some manufacturers that are not so compliant, right? So they may be giving you a scam drug, but usually because it's all FDA approved, it shouldn't be the case. But again, just be mindful, all right? But the answer is yes. Generic drugs and branded drugs are essentially the same. Yeah.
Thank you. It's very encouraging, and thank you for the tips, Doc and Sir. All right, and then I just want to share an experience coming from Mr. Alan Sorposa, because he sharing my experience. I take the liquid for 3 days before and after chemotherapy. I don't lose appetite, and bone marrow remains active, building back my platelet and WBC. Thank you for sharing this.
All right.
One.
Yeah, so that's the perfect answer. Thank you. It is very effective to support chemotherapy. And that's why Dr. Jansen is so effective with so many of his patients. He's able to support his patients through chemotherapy by using PPARs and other protocols. So again, to all cancer patients you're watching today, you can always do more, all right, to make sure that your fight against cancer is more effective. And with Doc Jansen and also here on Simply Nature, what we are trying to aim is not just for you to win your first fight against cancer, is to make sure you're in the best position when you win your first fight that recurrence does not happen. And in the worst case scenario, even if the recurrence happens, your body is strong enough that you will be successful the second time. Now, it's important to take note for everyone who is a cancer patient, is that when you have a recurrence, it's going to be harder because this cancer will be then very resistant to the drugs that you have used the first time. Okay, that means whatever drugs that you've used the first time, it will not work as well when the cancer comes back. So that's one of the things you have to take note of. That's why we want to try to avoid recurrence as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, thank you, Sir Alan, for sharing this one. I love that our patients are actually encouraging each and every one of them through our own community of patients here in Simply Nature. Thank you. All right, now next question coming from Ms. Helen Sabadera. Doc, what are the indications of food supplement patient with taking maintenance for hypertension? Thank you, Doc.
I don't get the question.
What
What's
are
the indication of
food supplement patient with taking maintenance for hypertension?
Okay. I'll try to answer this as best as I understood the question, no. Okay. If you are someone taking maintenance meds for hypertension, then you have to know first, no, if you're wondering what supplements to take, okay, you have to understand first where the hypertension is coming from. So this means that what is the source of the hypertension? Usually it's because of lifestyle for primary hypertension, but if it is secondary hypertension, meaning there is some other condition or medical condition that is causing the hypertension, then we would have to look into those things. Okay. However, for hypertension per se, no, there are foods, I should say foods, no, not supplements, because the food supplements are basically derived from these food sources. So like green tea, hibiscus tea, your ground flax seeds, green leafy vegetables, your garlic, and I forgot the other one. But the foods that I have mentioned, there are a lot of food supplement products out there that are sourced from these, which you can utilize. Okay, and of course the microalgae, no. So except for microalgae, because you cannot eat algae, that or how should I say, raw, because it has to be processed to some degree to clean it, no, at least. But for the other food sources, then you can source them from food items instead of supplements. Okay, but those things, those food items that I have mentioned, again, your hibiscus tea, your green tea, your of course your microalgae, your ground flax seeds, your garlic, green leafy vegetables. So these foods can help reduce your high blood pressure. Okay. Yeah. So that's how I would approach things. But beyond the food that I have mentioned, we have to look into the factors that is leading to the hypertension in the first place. So, for example, if it is sleep, you lack sleep, probably you have difficulty sleeping. We have to answer the question, why do you have difficulty sleeping in the first place? So, what are the factors or the causes? Then we have to address those issues. Okay, if it is coming from food, then perhaps you have to eat more plant foods first, then reduce the foods that is leading to the hypertension in the first place. Okay, which are usually high salt foods. Okay, so that's how I would approach things. I think it would be better for you to go for a consult so I can help you better.
I agree. All right, once again, if you wish to have a consult with Doc Jansen, the link for you to schedule a consult is on the description box and also on the comment section. Okay, for our next question, are coming from, just a second. Okay, coming from Miss Florence Davao. Doc, what's the best medicine for patient with maintenance for hypertension? Sometimes she feels palpitation. Oh.
Difficult to answer. I have to assess the patient first. So better to go for a consult. Okay. I would probably also request for some additional lab tests because the patient feels palpitation. So I would look into the thyroid, the heart itself, of course, no, and to also look into the lifestyle. Probably the patient is a coffee lover, so caffeine intolerance, no, can be a reason sometimes as well. Okay. So there you have it.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. All right. Another interesting question coming from Ms. Claire Ong. If you are on dialysis, can you take PPARs?
Yeah, I have patients on dialysis who are taking PPARs. Yeah, so it helps. It helps with the dialysis, especially with making sure that the patient's health is good. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Doc. Okay. Quickly, another question coming from Ms. Deli River. Are PPARs the same with Fucoidan?
No, it's different. It's not. It's different. Very different.
Totally different.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Fucoidan, Shen?
Yeah, it's another, but that one is actually a sea. It's wow.
Yeah, seaweed. I think it's seaweed,
it's
right?
seaweed, right? But it's very different. Is Fucoidan good? From my knowledge, yes, it is. But it's different from PPARs, right? So I won't comment much about Fucoidan any more than that. But I do remember encountering it many years ago, and it is a good product. It is a good product. So I don't really know the method or mechanism, the mechanism of action for Fucoidan, but I know it's a good product. I believe it's also another superfood. So most LJ products are really great products, okay? However, the advantage of PPARs, why you want to take PPARs, is because if you're a cancer patient, it definitely modulates inflammation, modulates your immune response, and it protects your cells from chemotherapy damage if you are going through chemotherapy. I can't say the same for Fucoidan. So yeah, this is why you want to take PPARs, right? And PPARs also will regulate your metabolic syndromes, and those are comorbidities in any fight against cancer or any other diseases you may be fighting. Okay, yeah, so that's it. It's a good product, right?
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, sir. Okay. This question is thrown to us privately by our client. The question is, how to live with the diastolic dysfunction grade 2?
How to live with it? Simple. You eat healthily, you exercise, but light exercises only. Okay, don't exercise, don't go for moderate intensity exercise. No? So examples would include brisk walking and cycling. Not until you are cleared by your cardio to do so. Okay? But for now, of course, you still have to have some degree of physical activity. Don't be sedentary. So light walking, stroll in the park, or walking inside the mall would do. Okay.
No, I want to ask you, because I've been trying out on myself. I want to ask your advice. Is this, when you say light exercises, right? So that is so that we don't overstress ourselves. And I found this one. I do brisk walking, but I don't do it for like 15 minutes. I actually do it like for 45 minutes, right? So I just want to ask you, if we do light intensity exercises, but yet we want to build up strength, we want to make ourselves like getting healthier and healthier, is it okay for us to push the time? That means that we continue doing light exercises, but we do 15 minutes, then 30 minutes, then 45 minutes, then maybe 1 hour. Is that something that for those of us who want to get stronger and stronger? Is that something but yet we are worried that we have issues that we cannot press the heart too hard. Is that a viable strategy?
Yes, it is. That's actually how we do it properly.
Okay.
So you start with 10-minute sessions. 10
All right.
minutes, no? Light exercise, light walking. So yeah. Start with 10-minute sessions, okay? Then if you complete 10 minutes, then take a break. Okay, do another one until you can do 3 10-minute sessions in a day. Okay? Once you're able to do so, then try to bridge those 3 10 minutes together. So from 10, you can go for 15, for example, then eventually you can go for 20. Okay, but we don't escalate that way. Okay, there's a proper way for escalating exercise intensity, which would be for another topic because it involves math. So but that's one way that we can do it, no? Try to set goals, try to achieve your goals, of course. Then once you achieve your goals, then try to exceed them a little bit. So say for example you already achieved 10 minutes, try to extend it for another 2, okay, until you get 15. All right? So that's one strategy that would be effective for a lot of people, especially if you do it every day. Okay? Imagine at the end of the year how much walking you would be able to accomplish. Okay, but of course, we have to consider your health conditions first. So, better go see your doctor. Talk to your doctor. See if you can pursue these kinds of exercises. Okay, but for the general public, no, regardless if you are physically active or sedentary, light intensity exercise would be the first step to go for.
Thank you, Doc. Key is go gradual. Okay. All right. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, sir. Okay, next question coming from Ms. Arian Orensia. Doc, if you cannot afford to have heart transplant, how many years possible that your body can handle yourself?
God knows. Really depends on where you are, on what the current condition of the patient is. But of course, doctors are not, I mean, we're only as good as your friendly neighborhood fortune teller. Okay. 50% we're correct, 50% we're right. So very difficult to gauge, no? But if a person doesn't go for a heart transplant, and if the person is a candidate for heart transplant for that matter, no, I would think that the patient is in a very not a critical condition, but the disease is quite severe already. And for patients who have severe conditions, severe heart conditions, probably if you don't go for heart transplant, depending on how well the patient, again, no, patient can last for a year, maybe 2. Okay, but definitely this ballpark figure is a guesstimate. Okay, I may be wrong because this is prediction already, and more often than not, when we're talking about you know the remaining life expectancy of an individual, we are more often than not wrong about it. Okay, so but that's just my ballpark figure, a guesstimate, so to speak. Okay.
All right. So, Sean, would you like
Sheila,
to... Okay, go ahead.
no, but I like just to move to the question because I look at our time, we're almost up also. So I think this one is by Editha Umanda. I hope I got it right. Okay. So do we recommend PPARs for prevention of cancer? I think, Doc, this is actually quite a broad topic. I would like to introduce or help everyone understand, how do you prevent cancer? And also there's an idea that you can take something that stops cancer from appearing or developing in your body. However, everyone, we have to understand that cancer does not develop one way. And developing cancer is not a single event thing, right? It's a combination of many, many factors that will allow your cancer to become, for example, to even grow a tumor, and then after that, for that tumor to be malignant. There are some cancers that can be prevented. Like last week, we talked about cervical cancer. That is actually caused by a virus. So it's like, you know what causes the cancer. You can isolate it. There's a vaccine for cervical cancer, so you can actually prevent yourself from getting cervical cancer. Now, to prevent yourself from getting cancer in general, right, is to be healthy. I mean, that actually is the way to prevent cancer. So if you have diabetes, hypertension, and then this develops into, you also have liver cirrhosis, you have chronic kidney diseases, and all these things, all these are going to add up as factors, and then cancer develops, right? So in order to be anti-cancer, you actually have to aim to be a very healthy person. That's, I think, Doc, is that okay for me to say that that is the best way to be anti-cancer? You can't like eat one thing that makes you anti-cancer, because cancer can come from every direction. So
yes, that's true. That's true.
Right? So, and it could come because you had another illness which severely tax and drain your body's strength. And then for that time period, it weakens your immune system. And then at the same time, you have some other thing, and then the cancer is able to grow. So in general, the way to keep yourself cancer-free is to make sure, people always say, strengthen your immune system, right? That is like a very broad and hard to understand term, actually. So I would say, how do you strengthen your immune system? By not being diabetic. Because if you're diabetic, your immune system is stressed. Right? How do you strengthen your immune system? By having a healthy liver. Right? If your liver is stressed, it's going to compromise your immune system. How can you have a strengthened immune system? Make sure you go to poop every day. Because if your GI, if you're not regular, if you're constipated, that affects your immune system. If your GI is not healthy, it affects your immune system. So everyone, I guess you can see why there is no one magic pill or one magic approach to prevent cancer. And because of that, I'm also going to share with you there is one magic product that you can take. All right. The reason is, I think PPAS is a very good foundation. PPA tablets, all right, not even the extract, just the tablets is a very good foundational start. Because why? You've heard from our program, whether you have psoriasis, diabetes, metabolic syndromes, hypertension, high blood cholesterol, gout, inflammation, chronic inflammation, we always still recommend PPA tablets. Why? Because PPA tablets basically helps you with all the basic chronic illnesses. So it keeps you healthy. And by keeping you healthy, it's one of the best cancer prevention supplements that you can start with. All right, you can start with that. So I would recommend PPA tablets, not even the extracts, because you don't have cancer, as a very good anti-cancer. But it will not only be anti-cancer, it'll keep you healthy. It'll give you a lot of energy, anti-aging, makes you look good, reduces your chronic inflammation, which might be helpful now for many long COVID symptoms. After COVID, many people feel easily fatigued and things like that. So that's my take. Doc, what's your take? Yeah.
Actually, that's a very nice way to put it. It's simple and easy to understand. It's actually true what Shan said. Did everybody listen to what he said? Okay. So probably I'll put it this way, no. So to give everybody a better understanding, but my approach would be a little bit more technical, no. I will use math here. Okay. Say for example, a person has a 50% chance of getting cancer. 50%. Okay. So now this person, say for example, he exercises every day. Okay, does moderate intensity exercise for 30 minutes every single day. Okay. So with the exercise, say for example, this reduces his risk for developing cancer by 10%. Okay? So from 50, you now have 45. Okay, what's 10% of 50? Okay, math everyone Okay, that's 5. Okay, so you reduce from 50, you reduce that by 5. Okay, so you have 45% left. Okay, so say for example, this individual eats healthily, and with the diet, he's able to further reduce his risk for cancer by, say, it's by 20%. Okay, example for 20%. So what's 20% of 45? It's 9, right? So 45 minus 9, that would be 36. So you have 36% chance of developing cancer left. So now, for example, this person takes Simply Nature PPARs and other supplements that's a very good antioxidant. So, for example, the supplements are able to reduce his risk of developing cancer by a further 10%. Okay, so from 36, you reduce that by 3.6%. Okay, so what happens? Can you see there? What do you notice? Okay, you cannot go to zero. You cannot go to zero. Okay, because as you try to reduce and reduce and reduce your risk, it goes down, but it just nears zero. Okay, there's still always that chance that you can develop cancer. Okay, that's how it works. That's why there's no single supplement or medication that can, really 100% prevent cancer. This is true even for the cancers that we have vaccines for, like cervical cancer. You have HPV vaccine, right? We've discussed this a few weeks ago, okay? The webinar about cervical cancer, okay? So the HPV vaccine has, well, at most, what we have now is 9 strains of HPV virus. You have 30 plus strains of HPV virus, okay? And if one strain that was not included in the vaccine, happens to infect you, you can develop cervical cancer from that. Okay, so did the vaccine not work? It worked. Yes, it worked properly in preventing the 9, protecting you from the 9 HPV viruses that you got immune for. The same thing with your hepatitis vaccine, hepatitis B virus. It's not just hepatitis B virus that leads to liver cancer. It's also your hepatitis C. Okay, so even for the vaccines, that we know that can really prevent a lot of these two cancers nowadays, it's still not 100%. Okay, some way, somewhere, these things can hit you, and you develop cancer. So in a way, it's also, luck of the draw, so to speak. But we have guidelines where you can have the least amount of risk for developing cancer. So these tips we've been discussing again and again and again in our webinars. So I hope you're listening and you're learning a lot from them. And most importantly, you are doing them. Okay? Because if you don't, you just listen, it's useless. Okay? So there you have it. No, there you have it. But so I hope you understand where both Shan and I are coming from. So again, there's no 100% prevention when it comes to cancer. It's really more of a game of risk, or a play of chance, a game of chance. So I hate to use the word game because cancer is not a game, but it's the nearest. I think it's the nearest word that I can use, that I know of, that to help you understand how cancer is. So it's really a game of chance. Okay.
Sheila, last question I want to answer, because this one I think is useful for everybody to know. Rosa asks, she uses PIPA Plus now, so I assume might be one of Dr. Jansen's patients or one of our doctor's patients. What should the exact amount of tablets should be taken every day? Okay, Let me give you a guideline, okay? A general guideline. Because you use the word exact, okay? Pipa tablets is one of those products that if you can eat more, all right? Here, for maintenance, all right, you should be taking like 10 micro tablets a day, okay? So that's generally for healthy people, and it's a normal day. Yeah, that's it. For therapeutic effect, it starts at 20. So it's 10 micro tablets 2 times a day. Okay. And it can be used as a preventive also. So that means you're not sick yet, but you feel a bit tired. Why? Because last night you had an all-nighter, and then this morning when you woke up, you achoo. So you know, like, oh, last night you didn't sleep well, and then today you woke up, you felt a cold might be coming. Then on that day, you can actually take 20 micro tablets. You can take 30, right? Just to help you like get over the hump, so that quickly give your body the nutrients and strengthen the immune system to the point that you don't catch a cold, right? You're on the verge. So this is like easy to understand. It's like orange juice, right? Everybody knows if you think you're coming down with a common cold, common knowledge will say, oh, quickly go and take vitamin C pills, right? Quickly drink more orange juice this morning to strengthen your immune system so that you don't develop a full-blown cold. Okay, so for Miss Rosa, that's my guideline to every other person who is viewing today that is taking PPAR tablets. All right. At the bare minimum for maintenance, 10 micro tablets a day. That should keep you moving. All right. Keep you healthy, keep you moving. If you can take 20, take 20. I take 20, minimum 20 a day. Okay. But for therapeutic effect, definitely you start at 20 or more. Okay. I feed PPAR tablets to my pets as well because they are like my children. Okay, so my dog takes 5 a day, but he's only 14 kilograms. You are easily 4 to 5 times heavier than him. Okay, so that's just a good guideline for everyone. Okay, so for Miss Rosa, I hope that's very clear and very easy for you to know. Okay, yeah, and no worries. My record is 150 tablets in one day. Why did I take 150 tablets? You might be asking me, what are you doing? Why did you do that? I was actually a conference speaker, and when I eat food, it affects my attention span. You know, how many of you, when you eat too heavy a meal, you feel drowsy? Okay, so that's the case. And also sometimes when I'm fasting, all right, when I'm fasting and yet I have to do a hectic schedule. For example, if I remember correctly, I was basically fasting during that conference, yet I had to be the keynote speaker, which is quite stressful and takes a lot of energy. So I was using the tablets as a meal replacement. All right, so that's why I ended up eating 150 tablets. Because if you eat 20, yes, it has nutrition, but it's not enough carbohydrates and all that to really be a meal replacement. It's not a meal replacement, it's a meal supplementation. I was using the tablets as a meal replacement. So that was the most I ever eaten, about 150 tablets a day. I did that for 2 days in a row because it's a weekend conference. Okay, so that's just to give you a good overview. All right, I'm done, Sheila. Sheila, you
Okay, there. Sorry. I just want to say thank you because you've mentioned something that's actually a lot of people are looking forward this coming weeks because Lenten season is actually approaching. And yeah, a lot of people will be doing fasting as well. So PPARs would be a good option for you to supplement your health during that time. Okay. All right. That is actually our last question. For those of you who weren't able to answer your questions, don't worry, we'll get in touch with you individually, or we can also ask your questions next week during our next webinar. So, but before we say goodbye, I'd like to ask for a very quick parting words from our experts who answered all our questions for tonight. Maybe starting off with Doc Jansen and then followed by Sir Shyan.
Yeah, so once again, I think my last speech says it all, no? So I just want to thank all of you, no, for attending our webinar tonight. Again, our audience are really very good, no? Very wonderful. You really ask very good questions. It's not only you that who gets to learn here, no, but all the other viewers and us as well. Okay? So please continue to support our channel. This weekly webinar. And I think the webinar next week would be a very interesting one. Okay, so please watch that. Okay, so we're going to have another wonderful discussion next week, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there again. And for who those of you who asked question and we weren't able to answer, please ask your questions again next week. We'll try to answer them as much as we can. Okay. So thank you, everyone. I'll give the floor to Shen.
Thank you now.
For me, I also would like to thank, I would just like to thank everyone, because you've also made this opportunity for me to have a great friendship with Dr. Jansen. Just to let you guys know, we've been doing this program for almost, are we gonna hit 3 years? I think we're gonna hit like 170 to 200 episodes for 3 years. Wow. Yeah, so it's been great, guys. Thank you very much. It's been giving us an opportunity to develop relationship between ourselves and even with Sheila and the rest of the team. So thank you for joining us. Please continue to share this program. As you can see, many people have the opportunity to ask questions, and I think asking questions will give you clarity, and so that you'll be more confident on how to move forward in your health decisions. Me and Dr. Jansen, one of our deepest desires from this program is to be able to give you enough information for you to make your own choices and to make better choices, right? Instead of just listening to fake news or what people say, we just want to give you enough information that you make your own good choices. And with that, see you again next week as you will learn more from Dr. Jansen. As Dr. Jansen said, next week is going to be an interesting episode. So Sheila, we hand this over to you and let them know what's going to happen next week. And Doc, see you in person soon.
Thank you once again, Sir Shyan and Dr. Jansen, for answering all our questions tonight. And we look forward to seeing you next week again to answer more questions as well. Okay, I'd like to invite everybody next week. That's February 22, also Thursday at 7:30. The title of our upcoming webinar is Overcome the Pain of Bone Cancer. So for those of you who knows patients of suffering from this kind of disease, or anybody from your hospitals or fellow patients, please do share this online event with them. Okay, this will be very, very informative and of course educational as well. There you go. Okay, at this point, once again, we would like to invite everybody, calling all cancer patients, survivors, and advocates. Let us all come together to explore the latest advancements in cancer treatment and engage with the multidisciplinary experts dedicated to enhancing your well-being. This is happening March 16. That's a Saturday here at SMX SM Aura. Taguig, okay? SM Aura. And this is limited slots only. So don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of this very transformative event. And reserve your seat, okay? The ticket is only 150, and you can actually choose attending it face-to-face, physical on the venue, and also if you're far away, you can also attend virtually. We will give you the Zoom link once you purchase the ticket, okay? We've heard your request, yes, and you can purchase the tickets using your GCash. Just after you pay, you just scan the QR code and then send us the receipt via Facebook Messenger, and we will reserve the seat for you manually. Okay? All right. Now, at this point, Simply Nature is in the verge of expansion. We are on the lookout for compassionate and proactive individuals to join our team as we expand and aim to reach more patients in need of natural health solutions. If you're eager to grow with us and thrive in a dynamic environment, we'd love to have you on board. Interested? Send your resumes to recruit@simplynature.asia. Yeah. All right. Also, at this point, I'd like to mention to please don't miss and check out the participating products that we are having in the ongoing Sulit Sweldo sale this February. Starting this February, please do check out the link of our Lazada shop. Our last mall is in the comment section as well. There you go. Thank you so much, everyone. Once again, we hope to see you once again in our next webinars to come, because here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thank you, everybody. Good night, and God bless you all.
There's a miracle in this Simply Nature.
Marami po akong natutunan dito sa seminar na ito.
I would recommend it to people who have illnesses, even cancer.
We're always with you from start to healing.
Hi, this is Shan, and I'm here to update you with a quick teaser. October 14th of 2023, we had our very first post-pandemic face-to-face conference on cancer, and it was a smash hit. The participants loved the ability to ask our panelists of myself, Dr. Jansen, our expert in lifestyle medicine, and Dr. Jimmy Katapia, who's our oncological surgeon. They were able to get all the answers they wanted about cancer and whether or not to go for surgery. So we are planning in 2024 another session by popular demand, because everyone wanted us to have another one so that they can bring their friends. So a quick teaser, we're going to have back Dr. Jansen, Dr. Jimmy Katapia, so all of you with questions on chemotherapy, on surgery, the doctors and the panelists are there to answer your question. And we have an upcoming special guest. We are hoping to get someone who is going to be an expert on diagnosis, something as very interesting like liquid biopsy, all right? So that's something new and on the cutting edge of cancer diagnostics. So those of you who could not make it for our face-to-face, well, this time round in 2024 on March 16th, we're gonna do ours with a Zoom option. So those of you who are in the province who can't join us here in Metro Manila, look out for the details so that you can join us on the Zoomcast.